Good morning, comic book fans. Welcome back to Comics in 5 Minutes. Fuck ice, I'm your ever-loving host, Shorty. Today, I'm going to break one of my usual things and I'm going to review something which I suppose counts as an anthology. Usually, the reason we're not reviewing anthologies is because there's a whole bunch of creators doing a whole bunch of different things, and in 5 minutes, I already talk fast enough. There's not enough time to get into it. This is, if anything, even worse because it's like 40-odd different things. It is the Mad About DC thing, and I do like Mad Magazine. I liked it since I was a kid. Not quite long enough to have got this one when it first came out, 1954. I did not realise like Mad Magazine's been going for quite that long. But the idea of this kind of big anthology monthly thing always appeals to me. I do feel like I may have outgrown some of the humour of it. When they did the relaunch not too long ago, went back to an issue 1, damn you for doing that. I did pick up a couple of issues, and I kind of enjoyed it more on a nostalgic kind of way. I thought it's fun to remember the kind of stuff that made me laugh like this when I was a kid. And I read like the first 3, and then I was like, yeah, I'm not getting the same thing from it, and that's fine. Not everything has to be for everybody. But this one, I was like, yeah, okay, this is actually like a full-on DC thing, and you look at the people involved, it is a smorgasbord of high-level talent. And I thought, yeah, let's at least read it. And the more I was flicking through, the more I was like, actually, there is stuff here worth talking about. Like, I don't want to get into what each individual creator did. It's more a case of how they approach things as an overall thing. There's a couple of creators I'm going to call out, and I'm going to say, Mitch Gerards, you are too good for this. And I don't necessarily mean that just as a compliment, although you are an excellent artist, but it honestly felt like you were literally too good for this. Like, you took it to a different level, and it felt weird. Your artwork is spectacular, and you were put onto a one-page, 6-panel book, and every bit of it looked amazing. But the joke was kind of like, cool. The fact that you brought that level of quality to the art was bonkers to me. On the other hand of that, Chip Zdarsky, your art is perfect. If you're watching this, just, finish Captain America, do whatever Magic the Gathering Marvel crossover you're doing, and just go and work for Mad Magazine. Your art style is damn near perfect for this. And I will say across the board, the art is brilliant. So many, top-tier artists brought their A-game to it. Not all in the Mitch Gerards way of literally bringing their A-game, but bringing a certain stylistic choice which feels very much at home on the pages of Mad Magazine. A couple of examples both involve femme characters. For Wonder Woman, it feels like they went for, in the specific Wonder Woman 3-page comic strip, they did a very good, very traditional expressed version of Wonder Woman, but put gym leg warmer sock things on her for some reason, and I loved it. Thought it was amazing. The other one, Power Girl, where this is a one-page advert about various different Power Girl statues and accessories, spending quite a bit of time just taking the Michael out of people who like Power Girl and have thoughts about the boob window. And I like the balance here, because one of the bigger aspects of this one-page thing was very clearly taking the mickey out of Puritan ideas about, oh no, you've got to cover it up. But the vast majority was taking the mickey out of the people like, no, we want more. And I'm happy with that balance. I feel like there's room to take the Michael, I keep wanting to say, but I'm not going to, out of both sides of that argument, but you don't need to make it evenly balanced. I will say, in terms of balance, the one thing that I really did get from it, in terms of the writing, was quite how much time they spent taking the piss. Sorry, I'm just going to keep saying it, taking the piss out of comic book fans. There is love there. There is affection to comic book fans. In some cases, it is explicit. But to say how often they have fun with DC Comics, DC characters, comic book publishing and marketing and all that, I had a lot more fun looking at how they talk about fans. Now, this is brilliant from my point of view, because I work in comic books, so I have seen a whole range of fans, and I know exactly the kind of people they're making light of. And I like the fact that some of these people might be reading and going, oh, yeah, that's me, or that used to be me. I can see why that is a perfectly valid, reasonable thing to derive humour from in a mocking tone. Because these people would be mature and prepared to laugh at their own failings. There's a bunch of other people like me, man, I can't believe there's actual people like that. Can you believe people actually talk about comics? Oh, man, I've talked about, oh, no, that's me. And hopefully that will wake people up to this kind of behaviour, and if for no other reason, it's worthwhile. I will say some of the better stuff is the one-page things. The 3 or 4 page long stuff, it feels like there's occasional run-on gags that run a little bit too long. The Superman one, for instance, it sets its stall out fairly early of just being like, yeah, humanity is pretty terrible, but kind of worth saving. But by the end of it, it's like, no, it's not these people terrible. You guys deserve Bizarro. That's what you're gonna get. And it is clearly a very obvious look at modern American political stuff going on. Don't mind it, but it did feel like it didn't need to be 3 pages. The tight stuff, the 1 page ad, admonishing people for calling a premium rate line to vote Jason Todd to get murdered. That's a really, really good one. Thoroughly enjoyed that. And even the back page fold up, really, really enjoyed. There needs to be more Sergio Aragonese little Tales from the Margin. I missed that quite considerably. There was one I saw in the entire thing. But other than that, and multiple jokes about microplastics, brilliant. Highly recommended. If you're a Mad fan, give it a shot. If you've never read a Mad magazine but like DC, there's enough focus stuff in there that you can gain enjoyment from it, I'm sure. That's it for me for now, though. Until I see you all again, look after you, everyone. Stay safe. Bye.